Bill Livingston here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Bill?
Hello.
I'm there. How are you, Bill? It's Rich.
I'm fine.
Well, thanks
for having me.
Thank you for joining. How do things stand right now between LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, best you can tell?
Well, I've always thought that I'm never privy to his. Few people are privy to his innermost thoughts. I've always thought he was going to leave, and I wouldn't feel at all like I did the first time because of bringing a championship and because he's a different guy. I've come to really respect and admire him, and I was very hard on him when he left. So his social conscience. Great amount of charity, a role to Akron people, the disadvantaged, funding college educations, just a lot of things. Very almost a model citizen. That having said, I don't see a championship coming anytime soon with the way this team is constructed. I don't know whether there's really a good landing spot for him right now because the Lakers are, they weren't a good team, and certainly if they got Kawhi in him, they probably would be. But I don't see a good fit with Philadelphia. I don't think he really wants to leave the East because it's always still, even with the rise of Philadelphia and Boston, it's going to be an easier place to get to the finals than the West.
So I guess then it's possible that
it's possible he would stay here.
That's what I'm saying. He reads those tea leaves, best you said there, Bill.
Yeah.
That the East is a better and easier path than it is the West, but staying put, it still is a difficult road to get through the East to get to, right? So
I just don't get I've always felt like the MVP award. I know they've got to do something to distinguish the 82-game grind. But, would you rather have James Harden or LeBron James? Come on. And this team might have finished in the damn G League without LeBron, and they wind up going to the finals. I totally disagree with that MVP vote, but I felt that way several times.
So what do you think the Cavs are doing right now? What can you tell us about?
It'd be nice if they had a different owner, for one thing. I know LeBron and he don't get along at all, and it's just a wide gulf on all sorts of issues, from politics to the way LeBron was treated last time. And I don't know whether they ever kissed and really made up for that. I think it was a wider thing that he wanted to do something for the Northeast Ohio area and, letting David Griffith walk and letting Kyrie walk. He wanted them to bring Kyrie to training camp, and he was convinced he could work that out. Now, I don't believe that because I think Irving was consumed by jealousy, and a great player that he is, but offensively certainly, But I think he would have had this knee operation then. That was what he was threatening. If you don't let me go, I'm going to have knee surgery now. And he just wanted out. But that's the way LeBron felt about it at the time. I think that bothered him a lot. And of course they got a bag of magic beans for Kyrie at first before they revamped the team. I mean, they got a diminutive guard who was a terrible fit with LeBron because he had to have the ball. Isaiah Thomas was the same type of ball-dominant guy, and he's not LeBron James. Nobody else is.
So I guess then let's.
And he wasn't sound. He's a better player than he showed here.
Well, let's unpack that a little bit, then, Bill. Then why did I guess if to use the few good men phrase, if Santiago is ordered not to be touched, and LeBron doesn't want Kyrie to be touched, then why was he touched with 2 years left on his deal, Bill?
I've never understood that. I think they thought the draft pick was well, I know they thought the draft pick was something they really wanted. They hadn't had their own pick, I think, since 2018 or maybe it was 2015 or something like that. It might have even been when they traded Andrew Wiggins was their first lottery, their last time they had a good draft pick. But it didn't turn out as good as they had thought. They've been insanely lucky in the lottery. Of course, they should have taken Oladipo, but he wasn't the player that
That's right.
he is now. But they got Kyrie and LeBron, and they got Wiggins, who was the ammunition to be able to make a debate to be able to make a trade for Kevin Love.
Well, I guess in a way, Bill, that this is all spilt milk right now, although it is part and parcel of the roster that might cause LeBron to just say, I'm out. So what decision? Even is it possible that he opts in and asks for a sign and trade that he's worked out on his own? Bill, I mean, what are you hearing about what the Cavs are thinking on this?
He would have the power. He would be the guy who could do that. No, I don't think that would happen. I think I think he feels really torn. And it's nothing new. I mean, I don't think he wants to uproot his family. I think he feels a lot of loyalty to the city. When he leaped up on the scores table twice after hitting the buzzer-beating shots in the playoffs this year, after the first time, he said, "These people know me. They've watched me play since I was in high school." I think it means a lot to him, but I think it's a head versus heart, duality working or conflict there. And I just really don't see him staying, but I wouldn't fall over in shock if he did. Nobody really knows what he's thinking. He keeps his counsel very tight.
Bill Livingston of the Cleveland Plain Dealer joining me here on the show. And let's dig a little bit more into the Dan Gilbert relationship. This is because we saw how they had a moment. I wasn't even a moment when he was strolling to the podium after the Eastern Conference Finals victory. He barely even slapped a man's hand. I mean, and we all were reading into that. There's something there to read into, Bill, for real.
Well, he doesn't like or respect Dan Gilbert. I think that's obvious. He tried to put it. He tried to make a relationship work. I don't think the fact that LeBron is such a outspoken critic of Trump, and Gilbert is a guy who I think gave $750,000 or something like that I've seen to Trump's campaign, and popped up at the White House when the Cubs were being honored.
That's right.
Which was
bizarre.
A little not the best optics here in Cleveland since they had beaten the Indians in the World Series. But I just think there's economic gulf and political gulf and personality gulf between the two of them. Gilbert's a very popular owner here in town because they won a championship and because he has spent the money, and that's been the historic drawback of Cleveland owners is, for the Indians were able to be a big market team for a while because of the new ballpark, but not once the cable revenues became the determining factor. And, Modell was living hand to mouth for a long time with the Browns, who have just been a joke for 20 years. So, it could be ownership that could get it again. It could be the quietus of this relationship. It's been a great 4-year run, though. I'm going to draw a parallel in a column I'm having coming out soon that everybody remembers the Browns as being this dominant, great team in the 50s. Well, that was in the AAFC. They did win 4 championships in the NFL, but they were 1-3 against the Detroit Lions in the 50s. Who are the Cavs 1-3 against? They're Golden State Warriors. Mm-hmm. Greatness is how you look at it. You can look at greatness a lot of ways. Just getting to the finals, I guess 8 or 9 times now for him, and leading this Cavs team against a 73-win team, and winning all of the last 3, and 2 of them out there. That's the greatest thing I think I've ever covered. Because 3 of the greatest plays in Cleveland sports history all happened in the last 2.5, 3 minutes of the game too.
That's right. And so, last one for you, Bill. Again, this story that's coming out on ESPN saying how the Lakers are feeling pressure to acquire Kawhi Leonard because that's their best shot at getting LeBron right now, with Paul George rumored to be staying put where he is in Oklahoma City. Is there anything you think the Cavs can do in the next 48 hours to keep LeBron James?
No, I don't think they have the ammunition once they didn't get a better bounce of the lottery balls this year. Kawhi Leonard, I think, has some questions about him that make Kyrie Irving's look kind of paltry right now, actually. San Antonio is a model organization. He couldn't get along with them.
Bill, appreciate the time.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
You bet. That's Bill Livingston of the Plain Dealer. They're in Cleveland with the boots on the ground.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.